In what room did Dawn first appear? Andrew Glass's room. And it was a shattering experience. Here in Mississippi, we have all kinds of stories about haunted houses. However, we have just about as many stories about haunted places, and this is one of those places. This is Stuckey's Bridge. Over the years, there have been no telling how many genuine, bona fide sightings of paranormal activity on this bridge. Now, my only problem is the legend that they've come up with to explain all of those sightings, to me, it's just a little sketchy. So we decided, what better way to help us draw out our conclusions about the sketchiness of this bridge than to invite someone who draws and sketches for a living to help us. And so it is with pleasure that I introduce you to my friend, artist, Marshall Ramsey, who takes the storyteller's chair.
This is a story that begins with neither once upon a time nor it was a dark and stormy night. And when it comes to fact and fiction, the lines can be a bit blurred. That's because the actual history of this bridge can be difficult to pin down. So let's start with what we know. Fact. Stuckey's Bridge is listed as a Mississippi landmark and was added to the National Registry of Historic Places in 1988. The original construction contract was issued in 1847, though the bridge that stands today was built at the turn of the 20th century.
Fact. It's called Stuckey's Bridge.
But no one knows why. There's no town or road, past or present, named Stuckey anywhere near here. No one named Stuckey was associated with this design or construction. And as odd as this may sound, it's as though the legend wasn't named after the bridge, but rather the bridge itself was named after the legend. Literally everything known about the man named Stuckey is steeped in legend. There's no history of where he came from, how he got here, his first name. It would be easy to believe he simply never existed, if not for one tiny little detail. Fact. Stuckey's Bridge is haunted, and there's been hundreds of variations. But the fact is, it's always the same three encounters. Encounter one, the dancing lights. Most commonly seen at night along the riverbank, but occasionally spotted waving around on or near the bridge itself. Encounter two, the hanging phantom, swaying at the end of a rope from the bottom of the bridge. And finally, encounter number three, the unexplained splash, loud, heavy, always just below the bridge, and never with any visible cause. Together, these encounters suggest two things. One, the bridge is haunted by Stuckey's ghost. And two, Stuckey's legend is real. Because after all, you have to have been real at one time to be a ghost now, wouldn't you? Yeah. And if the ghost of Stuckey is real, then the legend of Stuckey is real. And that legend goes as follows. Once upon a time, a man named Stuckey decided to retire along the banks of a secluded Mississippi River, where he built a quaint little inn near the newly constructed bridge. Stuckey would patrol the bridge at night, waving his lantern to beckon the would-be guests to the comfort of a dry bed and a hot meal. Little did they realize that Stuckey was no mere innkeeper, but actually the murderous, cold-blooded enforcer of the notorious Dalton gang. I don't know if that's true. I just made it up. Anyway, being murderous and cold-blooded, it didn't take long for Stuckey to return to his comfort zone, and soon he was robbing and murdering his guests and disposing of their bodies late at night by lantern light along the banks of the river. But eventually, the legend says fate caught up with old man Stuckey. Some say too many travelers went missing, which drew the attention of the authorities. Others say he had stolen his retirement money directly from the Dalton gang, who eventually tracked him down. But every version ends the same, with Stuckey dangling from a rope below the bridge, which is where he stayed, swaying in the wind, until finally the rope, or his flesh, rotted away and his body splashed into the river below. And so there they are. The mysterious lights, explained. The hanging phantom, explained. The unaccountable splashes, explained. Every one of the supernatural occurrences neatly accounted for by one local legend. It could be just that, a legend. I mean, not a single aspect of it is provable. However, for all the reasons to believe it's not true, we suspect that that bridge and the legend behind it will remain a haunting and unexplainable draw.
The Stuckey's Bridge is closed to everything but foot traffic now. Cars and trucks don't come across here anymore. No bridge just can't stand up to traffic. But you know, with that in mind, since there is no traffic, we could just plop down here in the storyteller's chair and kind of chill for a while. Except we have an appointment up the road, and so do you. You be here when we come back.